Yo, 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 what's good, YouTube? What's good? It's Stormy B Man, and I am back welcoming you to another edition of Stormy B Man's Boxing Raps for this Sunday, July 3rd, 2022. And this is number 31 in a series of boxing raps. We're calling this one Pound for Pound. What changed? And should it be changed? Taking a special time out this evening to have a stream to bring you all some boxing content because our brother Drew Titan is with family this evening, and for his time slot, I thought I would come in here and bring some content for you guys. This will be a discussion this evening on the pound for pound ratings list that recently came out by ESPN. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. And I hope to open it up and have some guests on here to talk about it with me. We'll see if that pans out. But that's what it's all about this evening, man. I want to say welcome to everybody that's out there. I'm not expecting a huge audience, but at the same time, you just never know who may show up or stop by. How you guys doing? Please smash the like button as you come into the building. And we'll get ready to get going as we present to you another Boxing Raps. I see we got Players Ball out there, making sure that his presence is being felt there. He seemed to like the intro featuring Earl Spence Jr. Andrew Gray in the building as well as Main Event Mark out there. Appreciate all of you guys. PGH Big Dog in the building. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. So, again, this is me doing my little part, trying to help out because the brother Drew Titan is busy with family this evening, and that's understandable. We all need a break sometimes, and that's a hard-working brother. Agreed. King Vonnie 86 in there in the building. I see you, man. What's good with you? Appreciate you stopping by. Smash that like button as you come into the building, family. Yeah. Talk a little bit about the pound for pound list this evening. Man, isn't it crazy? When you talk about the pound for pound list, man, what ESPN did recently with their list and ratings is really despicable. It's really despicable. I mean, the way that they came out with this, man, and just really decided to pretty much show their tail, so to speak, wasn't a pleasant thing at all. And none of us liked it. It's really biased. It's really biased, and it's really something that a lot of us, we're screaming and at odds about. Big time. Big time. So we'll talk about that a little bit, and all of us can express our displeasure. I know that sometimes, you get to talking about these lists and everything, people can get carried away, but it's disrespectful, man. Disrespectful. Yeah. Just trying to look over because I had some information here. We had something with the ladies on it too. I was trying to pull that back up. Wow. I was trying to find, I had the women's pound for pound list in my queue, but I can't find it right now. I apologize for that, because I actually decided to do this stream only about 30 minutes ago, and I used to have it in the queue, but it appears I might have removed it. But that's okay. We can still talk about what we're going to talk about. Andrew Charles, I see you out there. Salute to you as well, brother. Salute to you as well. Let's see here. I'm going to send out a couple of invitations here. Let's see who we can grab a few names here. Yep. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh boy, boy, boy. Let's see who else we got here. What else we got? Let's see here. Skywalker, I see you out there, brother. Good to see you. Who else we got here? See, I think I got one more that I need to send for my brother. Thank you for your patience, everybody. I was just trying to send some links out there to get ready to cook on this subject for this evening. Got the brothers out there. But yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit this evening, this pound for pound rating show. We'll see for the responses that we get. If some of the family that's in the chat decide they would like to come on board and talk, I might even open it up in that way too. But this is what we're going to talk about a little bit this evening, because I really want to know what you guys think and feel about this, because some of us have been talking about it the past few weeks since it came out. But at the same time, we want to know how the fighters feel about it. It's like, come on, man. There are some interesting things about this list, and it says a lot about the current state of the sport that they would even go as far as doing something like this. Very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'd like to know what you guys think, what you make of it. Getting back to the comments there. Yeah, Skywalker says no Jamel and Haney. It's absolutely crazy, isn't it? Snacks B in the building. Salute to you as well. Man, this is so crazy. PGA said, hey, ESPN anti-black pound for pound list is trash. You could say that again, boy. Skywalker says, cool boy Steph missing too. Yeah, listen, there's a lot wrong with this list, man. There's a lot wrong with this list. And they finally decided to put Artur Beterbiev on the list, who should have been on there to begin with. And let me tell you, he didn't get on there by popular demand or anything like that. He got on there because they were trying to send a message about complexion. But this man is one of the best fighters in the sport. So for him to be not on the list, it really speaks a lot about, you know, where they are and what they're doing. Yeah, TZ Frank, why are there heavyweights on this list? And those two heavyweights that are on there are probably not the best heavyweights in the division. How about that? Tyson Fury, a drug cheat, and definitely an overall all-round cheat, should be nowhere near this list or consideration. And Alexander Usyk, though when he was cruiserweight, could definitely benefit being a cruiserweight undisputed champion, being on this list. But he's now a heavyweight, campaigning at heavyweight at least, and he shouldn't be on here. And answer me this, you guys, and we've kind of talked about this before in the past, but as you look at this rating, right? How is Dimitri Bivol number 8, but he beat Canelo Alvarez, who has gone up to number 4? Now, is that like some of the most absurd rating and consideration for pecking order that you've seen? Seriously, Dimitri Bivol beat the crap out of Canelo Alvarez, but Canelo is number 4? And also a drug cheat, by the way, but he's number 4. And Bivol is number 8. Vasily Lomachenko is number 9 and has lost twice, no longer a champion, refused the man who is currently the undisputed champion, actually gave up a belt to not face the man. Huh? How about that? But he pops in at number 9 over Shakur Stevenson, who happens to be a unified champion. Huh? He happens to be. So how is that possible? You know what I mean? It's just one of those things, man. Crazy. Crazy. I'm going to take this down for a minute, but I'll put it back up, you know, because that's what the subject is this evening. And I'm just like, I'm outdone, man. I'm outdone. It's like, really? Are you serious when you say these things? It's like you want to put 2 heavyweights on the list who don't belong on there. You want to put a guy on there who's definitely a drug cheat and got his ass whooped in his most recent fight. You put another fighter who beat him on the list, but far beneath him on the list. You omit 2 undisputed champions. The most recent undisputed champion in Devin Haney, and the most dominant, successful undisputed champion in Jermell Charlo. They're not even on the list. So they are not pound for pound. They are under no consideration whatsoever. Help me, you all. Help me to make sense of this all, please. Because I just can't make sense of it. Can you? Can you enlighten me? I mean, because maybe I'm missing something. You know, I'm getting a little long in the tooth, so I might have dropped a few brain cells. Really? Really? Man, really? Come on now. Come on. Come on. I have a list called the Thunderous Top 10. And my list is not necessarily a pound for pound list, but it's a list that takes in consideration the most recent performances of fighters and puts them in perspective of how they impact the sport. Box office draw, the success of their matches, the entertainment factor that they bring, how they win their fights. That Thunderous Top 10 list looks nothing like this ESPN Pound for Pound list, but is a very good contender for a pound for pound list. I just don't understand people. So as I present it to you, I'll let you look at it for yourself. You tell me what you think. And here it is. Stormybman'S Thunderous Top 10. Let me know what you think. T. Berry, I see you out there, channel member. Appreciate you stopping in. Jay Gibson. 704 Joe just popped in. See you out there, 704. So let me know, people. Jesse Rodriguez popped into there and gave me an excellent replacement for a former ranking personality in Josh Taylor. Jesse's performance over Rungvisai was so dominant that, like a lot of people that popped into this list, he kicked the doors open and said, hey, take notice of me. And how could you not with a performance like that? No one has done that to Rungvisai. Not Chocolatito, not Estrada. So when you look at his performance, you have to acknowledge that the young man has arrived on the scene. Now, will he be consistent? Will he be able to reign? These are questions that'll be answered in the near future. But for now, he pops in at number 10. Stephen Fulton is there at number 9. Artur Beterbiev at number 8. Shakur Stevenson at number 7. At number 6, we have Inoue the Monster. At number 5, we have Devin Haney, undisputed lightweight champion, as well as he should definitely be on this list. At number 4 is Gervonta Tate Davis, one of the most successful fighters currently because people come out to see him. He's box office, big time, huh? At number 3 is probably the best fighter in the world today, in Jermell Charlo. Not the best personality, but definitely considered as one of the best fighters, by me at least. And then at number 2 and number 1, you have Bud and Earl, who are easily interchangeable there. And the sooner that they get it on with their fight, we'll be able to decide who is actually number 2. Okay? But the whole point of this is to consider those who have talent in the sport today, those who bring something to the table and give you a reason to tune in each and every time out that they come out for battle. It can't be denied. And guess what you don't see on here? You don't see drug cheats. Huh? You don't see people who have been given propaganda. Huh? You don't see those who haven't earned their way here. You just heard me explain about how Jesse Bam Rodriguez kicked in the door to enter the venue. Artur Beterbiev had been on and off of my list, but primarily due to the inactivity, but nothing to do with his performances, because he stops guys regularly. When you tune into his matches, he's victorious because he takes the battles and the decisions into his own hands. We crave that. We crave that. But this is the type of thing that we look at and you take full consideration. When you start talking about the talent of the individuals, Stephen Fulton, Shakur Stevenson, Jermell Charlo, those are three of the best in the sport. And they often put tremendous separation between them and whomever they're fighting. If you don't believe me, check out Jermell's last performance, Stephen's last performance, Shakur's last performance. Has anyone heard from Oscar Valdez? Mr. I've never cheated in my life. I wish I had that soundboard to cue up for Drew Titan right now when he says, I never cheated a day in my life. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. But there are no drug cheats on this list. Huh? Just guys who kick ass and take names. Yeah. Salute to Curtis Price out there. Skywalker says, Beterbiev, 100% KO ratio. Yeah. And people love knockouts. They want to see people get knocked out. You can have a full fight card of boxing. And if there are no knockouts, people will go away happy that they watched boxing, but they'll be disappointed that they didn't get to see someone get stopped. But you could have a main event that's a boring 10 or 12 round decision fight. But as long as there were a couple of knockouts on the undercards, people go crazy, man. It's like going to a baseball game but not seeing a home run. You always want to see one go out the park, even if it's not your team knocking it out the park. But you like to see the home run, the long ball. You know what I'm saying? Players Ball says, respectable list, OG 100. Fictitiously put together lists with no longer are regurgitation worthy. No BS. Yeah. And like I said, my list is not a pound for pound list. It's a thunderous top 10 list. Who are impacting the sport right now? Each and every one of these guys, every time they fight, they impact the sport. And the two that we're waiting on are Crawford and Spence for them to take care of their business. Once they do that, it will solidify this list as to who is number one and who is number two. But they still will both be on this list. Yeah. 704 Joe, and I understand what you mean. But since Bud had been touted as a pound for pound fighter for so long, I don't think anyone that they've put ahead of him deserved to be ahead of him. Remember, they had Vasily Lomachenko ahead of him. They had Canelo ahead of them. And they aren't as talented as he. Their victories haven't been as etched as his have. And he has moved through divisions. But right now, he's in a position to really solidify that or place himself as second best. And even as second best, he's better than those two guys, Vasily and Canelo. And think about it like this. If he were big enough to face Canelo, Canelo wouldn't fight him because his style is too close to what Canelo avoids. Austin Trout, Alexander Lara, Floyd Mayweather. Bud is of that ilk. He's not interested in fighting those type of styles. He has run from them. There's still a couple of guys who can present that problem to him today, and he is in no shape, form, or fashion trying to face off against those guys today. Understandable, TZ Frank. But Bivol, to me, isn't as decorated as Bitter Beef. And he only is a WBA champion because he moved just because he defeated Canelo moving up and he defeated Joe Smith. That's not enough. He should be fighting Arthur, where he can get the real glory. And something about him not anxious to get in there with Arthur gives me reason to hold him back. But I don't give him too much shine for beating Canelo because Canelo was a smaller guy and he was supposed to do that to Canelo. And so was Kovalev supposed to do that to Canelo. But I believe Kovalev was on the take. But I guarantee you, as sure as this channel is called Stormybman, Canelo will not get in the ring with Arthur Bitterbeef. No way. He ain't getting in there with Bitterbeef. It ain't gonna happen. Nope. So when you look at this crummy list here, the PTB is telling you what you need to think of boxing. They're not telling you the truth about boxing. They've been compromised, ladies and gentlemen. They've been compromised. And that's a shame. I don't like it just like anybody else doesn't like it. But at the same time, we have to talk about this, man. We really do. I'm understanding. I've received a couple of messages about people who have received invitations. They may not be on tonight because they're with family and everything. And that's totally understandable. I don't take offense to that at all. I understand that people like to take time out and, you know, be with the loved ones, holiday time. And I'll be doing the same, you know, tomorrow. But I'll tell you, just to be able to come out and help out with the brothers that normally be on at this time, like Drew Titan and Trick Nolte. You know, I'm just doing my part to help out. You know, William, old school artist out there saying, salute Stormy B, man. Damn, no notification whatsoever. Shaking my damn head. Hey, William, I had decided just 30 minutes before going live that I would cover Drew's time slot. So there wasn't enough time for notifications to really get out for this one. So it's not on YouTube or anything. It's just on me. I had some things to do around the house. I took care of that first, and then I realized I had some time. So, you know, don't feel bad about it. I'm just glad you're here. But just answer me this, man. What is up with the fact that we have no Devin Haney, huh? No Devin Haney. We have no Jamel Charlo. Does that seem right to you? And they stuck Canelo's stinky ass on this list. And he just got his ass whipped. By Dimitri Bivol. How does that happen? As I stated earlier in the show, make that make sense to me. Really? I don't think you guys really understand how important that is. How important to figure that out. For all that this man has been through, they have the nerve to omit his accomplishments as if it doesn't exist. It's improper. Improper. There's a lot going on here. I'm trying to get something together in the background here. That's why it's taking me a moment to pause, because I want to put this together for you guys. Just want to do it the right way. My goodness, that's not what I wanted. Take that off. Funny how when you think you have certain things lined up, then you realize you do not. But we'll see how this plays out now that I've made a change here. Let's see here. Because this image that I put up of Devin is really tight, isn't it? With him and all his hardware and his dad right there next to him, and he's smiling, and he's got, you know, that look of accomplishment on his face. But see, check this one out too. This is what I was trying to find for you guys. Here we go. And this is Mel Charlo with his hardware after accomplishing everything that he has. And they have the nerve to leave these two men off of the list. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They're not even on the list, people. Can I say that one more time so it's very clear to you? These two men, Mel Charlo, Devin Haney, they're not on the list. How is that possible? Going back into the chat for a moment. We got Alex Santos out there. I see you. Been a long time. Are you the ops? (704) Joe says, Bull, when you go live, we should get notifications. That is true. You should get notifications because I get them for other people who go live at the same time as I do. I don't know what's up with that. Politics, huh? Yeah. TZ Frank says, I hope Triple G beat Canelo. Yeah. Players Ball says, OG from Chicago with the Southern hospitality. That's mean. Press thumbs up button. Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Alex says, you would have thought ESPN would have saved face with their rankings when Charlo embarrassed them at the press conference. That's probably why they didn't put him on the list, because of what he had to say. But you don't listen to what he has to say. You look at what he's done. And what he's done in the sport is show that he is the best 154 pounder in business. He's the best. There's not a guy that they can put in there with him right now that can take that away from him, including Tim Tszyu. He's just going to be another piece on the grill at the end of the day. Tim Tszyu. William says, Stormy B-Man, it's damn shame that ESPN is showing blatant disrespect for black fighters. It's disrespect, bias, and prejudice, William. That's exactly what it is. Disrespect, bias, and prejudice. There is nothing that they can do or say to dispute that.
It's not really like that.
Oh, yes, it is. Your bias and prejudice is such that you can't put two of the best fighters in the sport on the list at all for the sake of a couple of drug cheats and a heavyweight that doesn't need to be on the list? Remember how they went out of their way to call Teofimo undisputed? Remember how they went out of their way to say George Kambosos was undisputed? Now that Devin Haney is actually undisputed, they take him off the list totally. What hypocrisy, bro. And how about this, people? They're now trying to make it seem like undisputed isn't really important anymore. Ah! Are you kidding me? They're trying to tell you that it's not really important anymore. Because too many black fighters are undisputed now? I would rather they say, hey, darky, go home. Because that's what they feel. I would rather they say that. The worst part of all of this is this. When we talk about these things, where's old media coverage of this? I'll wait. Where is it? Where is it? All of a sudden, being undisputed is not that important anymore. It's not important. And if Bud Crawford and Earl Spence fight, that's going to be another black undisputed champion. So you would have the winner of that, Charlo, Devin Haney. That's 4 divisions. Bob Arum is currently trying to keep Shakur Stevenson from unifying again. The shit never stops. And mind you, what will he say? Oh, there's no interest in that fight. There's tons of interest in people seeing unification, because it's the coming together of titleists to find out which titleist is really a champion. Because as long as the belts are divided up, you have no idea who is the true champion. Artur Beterbiev, with his demolition of Joe Smith Jr., showed you that he is the champion at 175. Dimitri Bivol is a titleist. And as soon as he gets in there with Beterbiev and gets tightened up, it will cement Beterbiev as the champion. But we'll always love Dimitri for whooping on Canelo's ass. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be what it'll be. Salute to my brother G5 Gabe, who accepted the invitation to come in for this evening. What's going on, G5? How you doing, bro?
Sensei, what's going on, OG? Nothing much, man. Just got through feeding my face, man. I had got the link. I said, man, let me get all this barbecuing off me, man, so I can get situated. Real quick. So I seen the link. I said, oh, shit, he did see the link like 40 minutes ago. I said, man, I'm tired to the party. Let me get on in here real quick. Get myself situated. Other than that, I'm all good, man. Just relaxing.
It's all good, man. You should have brought me one of them plates, though. I tell you that.
Man, golly, man. Well, they done threw down in here today. I'm like, every corner I look, I'm like, it's food everywhere. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to indulge in this some handsomely. So yeah.
I know. See, you spoiled over there, man. I know you got some good stuff going on over there, man.
What? They know what I like to between Queen and her mom. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Y'all know me because they like, man, you be eating. Oh, yes, I do. We eat good this way. Salute to the chat, everybody. Shout out to y'all. Hope y'all smash my OG's like button on the way in.
Yeah,
I heard you in here cooking, man. I was in and out trying to eat, and then I was like, damn it. The head said died. I said, let me go ahead and let it get some juice. So you might have to, give me a quick hit to where we at right now.
Yeah, man. Just talking about this ESPN pound for pound list tonight because Drew Titan wasn't able to go on this evening because he's with family. So I thought I'd take the time slot and just do a live and talk about this. It's nothing real, but just specifically, this is the topic this evening because once again, that rating, man, that ESPN brought out, and I'll put it back up on the screen for those, who may be coming in a little later as well. But it's like this list that omitted 2 of the undisputed champions, man. How in the world could you do that? Could you even fix your mind to leave 2 undisputed champions off for the sake of 2 drug cheats and a heavyweight and a guy who just got his ass whooped as well, and another guy who, in Vasily Lomachenko, who not only has 2 losses on his record, 2 unavenged losses, and has fallen out of the graces in boxing because he avoided the man who is currently undisputed. So it's like you did 4 to 5 asinine things in this motion of judgment. And all that I said is this: bias and prejudice is what it is. It is no more, it is no less. You cannot justify what they've done. You cannot make excuses. It is what it is. So when ESPN takes 2 of the best fighters in the sport today off of a pound for pound list, and they have one thing in common: they're the best at their class and they're black. It gets no more obvious than that. And as I said just before you pop on, I said I would rather ESPN say, we think it's too dark, we don't want all these blacks on here, than to do what you're doing and not be able to justify it, because it makes no sense. If you want to say we're biased and we're prejudiced, say it. We're in a different time and stage of the world now where people like to express themselves. Didn't Donald Trump kind of show the country that? Well, come on out, ESPN, stop bullshitting with us and say what you really feel, because we can see what you feel, but say it. Honor yourself by standing up and be who you are so we can knock your ass down.
Yeah. Man, what's funny though is that before this list, it was not as bad as this one, because initially, remember, Mel wasn't on there, so they removed who did they take off, and they put Mel at 10, right? So then once Mel had, once he had been the champ, undisputed for about a second week, then look up when Devin Haney ended up fighting, y'all knock him down, then put one Francisco Estrada, they moved him back down, then they shifted in and added Bivol, and then they added Shakur, but then they took Mel out. Then they added Devin in the same time. So it's like they have a limit. Like, it's no more than 3 black fighters getting on that list at a time, y'all. So if y'all don't see it by now, it's not happening. Because think about it, if they would have added Haney and Mel to this list right here. Just say you take out Fury and Lomachenko. Then now you look at the list. That means you would have had Shakur, Devin, Mel, Bud, and Spence. You know what I'm saying? That's 5. That's half the list. They're not going to give us that satisfaction. That means basically half of boxing, or you're the top half a pound, basically the fighters are black. They don't want to say that. Now, if it really could be more than that, I'm just not, if we go on off of skills per se, y'all don't want to see the real definition of pound for pound, and then the list will be totally different. But based off, they do it with accolades, skills, who they see. But then again, this is a list that they pick and choose to try to tell people basically, hey, y'all should look for these fighters, and everybody else, they're under or they're but inferior to these fighters or whatever. And the way ESPN rock their list, it's all about who they want to be seen as the most popular fighter in their eyes, to try to make people believe like, okay, yeah, ESPN said that these fighters are the most popular or the best, so we should believe them. Casual fans will believe that nonsense. But real boxing fans, they know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? If you pay attention, whether you white, blue, black, green, purple, yellow, turquoise, it don't matter. You can see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? If you got a sensible brain in your head. So, I'm not expecting them to have all these people on there. I expected Canelo to still be on here. I expected Fury to be on here. And in some form of way, I expected Vasily to be on there. Remember how they kept leaving like Manny on there when he was just lingering on in the division at 147? He'll stay around like 9 or 10, but he really wasn't fighting nobody because he was moving around with his political endeavors until he fought Thurman. That's how they kind of doing Lomachenko. They like just lingering him around, keeping him on the list, but he's gonna be there for a while. See, he dropped down. He at number 9 now. So I mean, eventually he'll fall off, but they're gonna do whatever they can to keep him on there, man. It's just that's when they post the boards that they want to paint. And
G5, check this out, man. Cook on this, because I've been talking about it, but I want to hear your take, a take from a different person. I want to hear you cook on the fact that how is Canelo, the fact that he's even on this list is freaking ridiculous, but how is he number 4 and the man that whooped his ass is number 8? Can you help me with that?
Man, when I first ever seen, man, I'm not even gonna lie.
The hypocrisy of it all, but I just want to hear you and what you got to say about that.
When I first seen this list, I was like, I mean, I'm no mathematician, no math wizard, but I'm pretty good at numbers, y'all. And I'm like, if he washed you, y'all basically saying, okay, Canelo is number 1. He got washed by the man, and we gonna move him down 3 spots. But we just gonna Bivol should be glad that he's on the list now. That's what it seems like to me. You beat Canelo, who we see was the pound for pound king. You beat him, he's gonna take a hit. He's gonna drop down 3 slots. But in the same time, in the same sense, Bivol is basically gonna have to beat him twice, I guess, to them to say that he's better than Canelo. But but if you beat the man, aren't you better than the man now? You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just a close victory. It was very decisive. Very decisive. The hell with the judges that want to try to make it say Canelo, nah, man, forget all that. That was a one-sided beatdown. Sorry, Canelo fans. He got his ass whooped. And he couldn't make no adjustments. And it was clearly and evident because he couldn't even do anything. We see right now against Bivol, if you have a good jab and a consistent jab, you can beat the dog shit out of Canelo. Just keep it in his face and keep it active and consistent all night. The peekaboo fails because if you keep throwing jabs and mix it up with combos, when he weaves back doing the peekaboo, as he's coming back, he was getting tagged with shots. Bivol killed him every time with it. I'm like, and he could make no adjustments. But this y'all king though, get the hell out of here with that. Just ultra disrespect and blasphemy to Dimitri Bivol, who watched him. I could see if the fight was close. And you're like, oh well, man, he won, but I don't know, man. It wasn't even this, it was too decisive. So I mean, for him to even be on, I mean, he got on, but Canelo should have been, if they want to keep him on, he should have been where Lomachenko at. Number 9, and Lomachenko should be looking at the list, wishing he was on. And Haney and Mel should be on there. And Tyson Fury, get your ass off there too. You shouldn't even be on there either. Go ahead and put it on there like we really should see it. But they don't want to do that because then they'll take heat from other people and other races talking about their list is too dark, it's too biased. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me help them out a little bit, G5, because I was doing this earlier with, before you popped on. You may have saw it if you were checking it out. You said you were in and out, but I'm going to put it back up here for everybody. Check this out. This is my Thunderous Top 10. Now, my Thunderous Top 10 is not a pound for pound list. As I've explained, the Thunderous Top 10 is basically a list that will show the top 10 fighters who are impacting the sport as well as anybody, and people don't mind paying to see these guys because they are also entertaining, they're crowd pleasing, their performances speak and resonate for themselves. This is a more realistic view of who should be considered, even though I don't consider this a pound for pound list. Let me know your thoughts as you go over the names that you see here. And it's not so much about who's placed well, but the placement of the names is a little bit strategic on my behalf. And I do believe Inoue belongs on there because of the success he's had before the American market finally found out about him. But He's done at those lower weights what Julian Jackson was doing when he was a middleweight and junior middleweight, knocking people's heads off. And knockouts sell, which is why you see two other fighters on there who knock people the hell out, Artur Beterbiev and Gervonta Tank Davis. You see what I'm saying? So this and everyone else is on there according to their skills.
Yes, Lord. That's what that is. That's a skills list.
Exactly.
And that's what the true definition was based off of. Because everybody didn't get a first shake or a first chance. So they wanted to eliminate for the people that got a launch pad start to their career and into title fights. Because it was people like such as the Black Murderers Row who got blackballed. So the pound for pound list was actually meant something back in that time. Now it's watered down. It don't mean shit because they keep changing the narratives in the definition of it and pushing it that way. But we know what it is. We know.
Yeah. And these fighters on here, with each and every one of their performances, they have gotten better and better and better. It doesn't matter who they fought. But to give the example, Bam Rodriguez, he kicks into this list at number 10 due to what he was able to do to Rung Visai. No one has ever done that to Rung Visai. So here you have the consideration of a young fighter, just 22 years old, 23 years old, and Stephen Fulton. How many undefeated fighters has he defeated on his path to where he presently is? And it don't look like his train is stopping anytime soon. We're ready to see his next outing. Artur Beterbiev, 100% KO percentage in his fights. He takes people the hell out, and he's a unified champion now. 3 belts. Bivol, you're next. Okay? Then you talk about Shakur Stevenson, who is now a unified champion. They didn't want to make that fight, but they had to make that fight. The lawsuit that Terrence Crawford has against Bob Arum in Top Rank. Yeah. So Shakur should be thankful to Bud Crawford. But it's not just that. Shakur is pretty damn good. Huh? And where is Oscar Valdez now? Has anyone heard from him? Huh? Has anybody seen? Did he pack up and move? Where he at? Huh? I've never cheated a day in my life. Okay. Sips tea, as he says it. But anyway, Devin Haney, who just became undisputed, a man who has been avoided by everyone, but he's got all the belts now. And now that he's got all the belts, you omit him from consideration as pound for pound. But you have a guy on pound for pound list who avoided him and gave a title up to not fight him. So pound for pound doesn't mean anything anymore as far as undisputed? Are you serious? When you look at Jermell Charlo, and I talked about this earlier in my early morning show, where Charlo is probably the best fighter in the world today. Not pound for pound, probably the best fighter in the world today. You know why? Because not only has he become undisputed, but he has won in his matches every kind of way you can win in the sport of boxing. And I've also added this, with the exception of robberies. He hasn't robbed anyone with a decision by the judges. When the judges robbed him in a decision against Tony Harrison, he comes back in a rematch and knocks Tony Harrison the hell out. Then when he faces Castaño and the judges help make that a draw to milk things, he comes back in a rematch and knocks Castaño the hell out. So he is both judge, jury, and executioner. The way you're supposed to be. A real warrior in the sport of boxing. And he has taken it to the max and has whooped everyone's ass. And now you got another guy who's ready to put his ass on the coals in Tim Tszyu. Bring it on, Mr. Tszyu.
Gonna put his ass in the zoo. Messing with Charlo, you're gonna get put in the zoo.
It's ridiculous. They cannot justify what they're doing. They cannot, which is why I said they need to just go on and say that we are the network of haters and we don't like black. They should just say it.
Hey, OG, remember though, we was talking about the NBFs on a couple weeks back though.
Yeah, but absolutely.
But they need black fighters, but they don't want them. I told you they had a war with themselves. They are battling with themselves because they're about to contradict their own narrative that they've been pushing and living by so long. We don't need black fighters or none, but y'all need them. But you don't want to give them credit. You don't want to give them their just due. But then when your favorite fighter that y'all put on the pedestal get knocked off either by one of them or somebody that could be a Mando, and now what do you have? Now you still kind of need those black fighters, but they don't want to support them and push them. See, that's why I say they're going to continue to be at war with themselves because they don't want to give us the credit, or they don't want to give certain fighters the credit, but they're gonna have to be forced against the wall. Their back's gonna be tired and gonna be forced against the wall, and you're gonna put up a shit up, but they still gonna find a way. That's the sad part. Even when their back's against the wall, they find out to make new rules to justify what they're doing. But we said that's why we're here, because we'll be the people that actually speak on things like that we see, while the people that have the larger platform, and the reach to actually really make a change with it, they company people. So we know what to expect out of those. That's why we here. We'll speak on it, and they'll just steal it and hate it and steal it and hate it and steal it and hate it. It's a cycle. So if you smile, don't trip, y'all, because they watch the content, y'all. Don't ever think and get it twisted and think that they don't. They paying attention. Trust.
Let me ask you this, G5. I want to hear you cook on this also, as I've talked about it during the show before you came on with me here. Talk about what's being noticed too now that Undisputed is not that important anymore.
Well, selective energy from these individuals, whether it be sanctioning body, promotional outfits, all of that. It only matters when it's the fighter that they like, they want, or they're pushing. That's when Undisputed matters. So let's just think about it. When did Josh Taylor or Canelo or Lomas and Tio's them think Undisputed? You know what I'm saying? Did they get ordered to right after they won? Hey, you got to fight this person? No, Loma petitioned to fight him. Other than that, they didn't mandate him to fight nobody. They allowed him to look over and he ducked Devin Haney. Canelo, they didn't even bring up a freaking mandatory in any type of form or fashion, and he waited and went the softest and the easiest way to get Undisputed. But they have this built-in agenda for Canelo. They got a built-in agenda for other fighters. But the fact that Mel and Devin have done it, oh no, y'all gotta fight right away. Y'all we gotta make sure that y'all go ahead and get rid of these belts. Either one, you're gonna pay all the sanctioning fees, which they gonna make sure that they spike it up for the black fighters. Then they're gonna turn around. If you don't go with that and pay the sanctioning fees, they're gonna force you to drop the belt by giving you a high sanctioning fee. So you're gonna end up dropping one of those belts, maybe two. It all depends. If you don't do that and pay either drop the belts, pay the sanctioning fees, or they'll strip you for holding on to it and refusing. So it's like either way it go, you work and bust your ass to be Undisputed. And then they force and tie your hands as the Undisputed champion, as the king of the hill, to say you got to go fight these people, or you got to do this, or you got to give this upcoming fighter a shot. What? Nah, If anything, I should be able to choose and say if I want to fight them. I'm undisputed. I have no dispute in my shit. So how you gonna tell me I gotta fight this? You gonna mandate to fight me this first? No, y'all ask me. Y'all should be. Hey, would you want to fight him? Nah, for what? He need to go fight Fundora. Tim Zeus should be fighting Fundora. Yeah, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna jump the line just because you was ranked, and they've been pushing you as the biggest thing since Jeff Horn in Australia, because they don't give a damn about George Kambosos. You behind the Maloney brothers in Australia, Kambosos, for his popularity. Let's be honest. They know Maloney brothers and Tim Zoo. George Kambosos, you like the fourth fiddle over there. So, I mean, that's all it is, man. They got this hype built around Tim Zoo, and they want to try to give him a shot. And he's also riding a wave of his damn daddy.
Yeah, man, it's funny because we talk about these things, and what's interesting is like all of us as a community of content producers, we do cover certain things that old media don't even touch, which keeps people informed. But at the end of the day, even when we present the information, because you can sometimes hear something, right, and it hit your ear, and you be like, you know, you're not really paying attention. Then somebody could say something a certain kind of way and it hit your ear. It's the same information, and then it resonates. And you just like, oh, I got a feeling about this now. You know what I mean? This is why we do what we do, because old media isn't even touching on these things. And you can see the corruption in the sport has matriculated so deeply into the day-to-day order and business of boxing that they don't even ask fighters proper questions anymore. Man. They don't. It's like amazing that fighters are now treated like Hollywood celebrities or something. It's like they don't, hey, that's a nice, you know, watch you got on there, or, you know, where'd you get those shoes? And, you know, it's like, really? It's like, I want to know how many weeks of camp you got. Who you bringing into the camp to work on? You know, are you trying to work on defense, or are you trying to improve something? You know, I'm going to ask some questions that boxing people really want to know.
Right. They asking, hey, man, that's a nice chain. How much you spend on that? What the hell does that have to do with a fighter's career or his upcoming fight or things that we want to know as boxing fans? Okay, you got a nutritionist now. How's that going? Did it work better in your first camp? Can you feel a difference in being on having a nutritionist, being on a strict diet, then compared to your camp before when you didn't have it? Like, it's questions we want to know, like, that actually mean something into the fighter going into a fight. Yes, you being able to make weight and cutting weight easier and effectively does help and mean something in a fight. We want to know these type of things. Okay, if you noticed in the last fight that you were lacking head movement, did you and your camp work on that the whole camp? You know what I'm saying? There's different things that actually make sense. And they weren't about the shoes. Oh, you got on some nice red bottoms right there. Who cares? Like, y'all paid and got degrees and stuff for journalism and don't know shit about journalism. Can't even ask a question.
Check this out. Now, Joe Joyce fought yesterday. Okay. Now, he was out of the ring for almost a year. He had an injury and had surgery on the injury. He never said what the injury was. He never offered that up. But guess what? He was never freaking asked either. I would have asked him, what happened? You were out for a year. We were looking for you after you defeated Danny Dubois, and all of a sudden you were just vacant. No one saw you at fights. No one saw you, you know, in interviews or anything. What the hell happened? That's something that a boxing fan would want to know, especially if you're a person that follows Joe Joyce and he had just had a damn good win over Danny Dubois. They never asked. Even after yesterday's fight against the lowly Christian Hammer, they didn't ask him, what held you out of the ring for so long? I want to know that information. And again, you could tell every time when these guys are out there, people are so looking to be in the graces of them that they don't want to upset the cart or whatever. This is boxing. Boxers, professional fighters, they're supposed to have tough skin to begin with. That's why you don't treat them with kid gloves. But if you notice that they've treated these men with kid gloves so much that now their man purses and capri pants and painted fingernails have kind of taken over in things, and they don't seem like the men of yesteryear anymore, do they? That ain't what I want for my boxing. You know, when I watch the NBA, I want to watch the NBA. If I wanted to watch the WNBA, I would watch the WNBA. But I don't want to crisscross them. I don't want to infuse them together. I don't think that the ladies' league need players to be in there with the men and vice versa. I don't have it twisted like that. What the hell is going on?
And a bunch of blasphemy, OG. I don't know what. I mean, you got suits and promoters and networks, man, and they doing more ducking for the fighters than the damn fighters. A lot of the fighters like, yeah, I want to make this fight. No, we're not gonna do that. Will you get your ass out of the way and let them strive for greatness? Like, damn. If I hear one more fighter, a promoter or tell a fighter, it's what you should be doing anyway. I mean, if you do it behind closed doors. You openly saying that this fighter is not ready, and the fighter believes he's ready. So now you just, like, to me, you stripping the confidence that the fighter has. He thinking that y'all gonna back him on his decisions, and y'all basically saying, nah, you ain't ready. You need some more time. And they like, nah, man, give me a shot. Let me go. Take me off the leash so I can go show y'all. Nah, you're not ready yet. I'm so tired of hearing that. Like, how you gonna know what a fighter got if you don't let him give a chance? You know what I'm saying? If he young in the tooth, if you take a loss, that could be a lesson. A fighter might grow from that. But they got in protection custody mode. Like, bro, boxing is a violent sport. It's a sweet science, but it's violent. Let these men get in here while they young and go ahead and test and see where they at. And as they get older, then hey, that's a learning experience. You be like, man, I remember when I was younger, I got in a fight. I thought I was ready for it, but it was a learning experience, and it helped me become a better fighter. And shit, that's all you can really ask for. But if you don't try or you don't take a risk or a chance, how do we know? Then if they keep the training wheels on you too long, when you do get in there and they feel you're ready, you might not be ready. You might get your ass embarrassed. So, you know, you got to take a chance. Like, man, let these dudes fight. I'm not telling none of them they're not ready. Because I'll use an analogy. Hey, if you run a track and you got Usain Bolt in 100 with you, and it's your second year pro and he in year 8, you can't say, oh man, I'm not ready to run against him. You're a pro. You got to run. You can't pick and choose and say, I don't want to run against him. That's your job. So, you know, that's how I kind of look at it. Like, quit telling these dudes they green, they not ready. Some of them, we can clearly see that. But there's some of them that they are ready and they will not let them off. And, you know, that's holding boxing back as well, too.
Yeah, it's a shame, man, because what we're seeing with this and what we said earlier about ESPN and the pound for pound rankings, all of that stuff goes together because the agenda is to keep things a certain kind of way, not get too serious into something or not have too much consideration for something, because accountability is everything. Accountability is everything. And they don't want to be accountable. But you remember when they announced that the Wilder and AJ fight was a done deal and everything? How irresponsible that they released that information out there to the public, and it wasn't even true, but they reported it, and no one held them accountable for that kind of foolishness. It's like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So when we are following through and following up and we get day-to-day updates, we have people with an ear to the ground like Blue Blood Sports TV and Champside. Shout out to those brothers who are really taking it to the max, doing what they do with sports journalism. You know what I mean? And they know things, they know people, they have contacts, and they report on things in the proper way. And these people try to continue to act like certain individuals do not exist or whatever, and certain players in the sport do not exist. The hypocrisy, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
It's an insult. It's an insult to the intelligence of the masses, because, again, when people can get the truth, it sure is much better than when they were being fed the other bull crap.
Yeah. Yeah, the only difference is the truth is unpopular these days. They don't want to hear the truth these days. They say they do, but they don't really want the truth these days, Stormy. They don't want the truth. Because when they get the truth, they have rebuttals where they question you or ask you, why would you say that? Or where did you get that information from when it's the truth? You know, everybody always want to question now, because it's not the message, it's the messenger. That's what it is. If depending on who says it, it's okay. But then if somebody else said that they don't really agree with, or they not privy to like that, they're gonna question it. And that is, you never know, if somebody's source is that much credible. But a lot of people, who they are, but it's the messenger. That's what I've noticed. And people have selective energy and outrage, and depending on who it is, then it's okay to lash out. Then certain people, it's not okay to lash out. Like the sport of boxing, man, it is a wicked, cruel, crooked, damn sport. We love it, but the behind the scene things and the things what people are willing to do to win, or to try to, give advantages for people to win is beneath me, man. It blows my mind. Like, and when a lot of stuff come out when this whole Kinahan Fury thing happens, man, look here. It's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna be involved, and it's gonna hurt a lot of people feelings, boy. Some of the people y'all might have been looking up to, thinking was solid. They not squeaky clean. That's what I'm gonna say, because where there is one, there is many. And that list gonna keep growing, because somebody finna rat. Somebody finna sing like a jailhouse bird, and they about to sink the whole ship. And I'm just waiting to see what all comes out. I'm waiting to see.
Yeah, and hopefully it happens.
And I don't even feel sorry for him. Fear, whatever comes to Tyson Fury, no disrespect, you tried to kill a man in the ring. You understand me? In a violent sport. So I'm not gonna show sympathy for you, and you didn't have any sympathy for that man. We got to keep it fair and be real. It's not about trying to be hateful, but hey, he's willing to try to take somebody out. So keep the same energy for that man had, and whatever you get, that's what you get. Karma is a mother. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And he brought you out the gutter and he gave you 3 chances. You understand? 3 shots in the end. You made 150 million or whatever. So whatever happens, it happens. Hey, that's you dug that ditch, now you gotta go lay in it. And that's being honest and being fair as a man. If it was vice versa, then hey, I have the same energy. But you tried to kill a man, and that's unacceptable in a violent sport.
You're right, man. I can't say anything about that. That's 100% correct.
They want sympathy, OG, for doing heinous and crimes and acts because people that support you said it was okay. That's not okay. So we got to hold them to that fire, and the government going to hold them to that fire due to your dealings. And that's the part where they got to answer for it, not us. We don't have nothing to do with it. We're going to sit back and watch it unfold, though. Oh, yeah, for sure. We're going to watch this unfold. And I'm waiting. And they need to remove those asinine losses off Deontay Wilder's record ASAP. As soon as everything going to unfold.
Yeah.
At least I feel that.
There's going to be a lot of names, man, that, like I said, people are going to be surprised. People are going to be disappointed. People are going to be shocked. Some people going to shit themselves because they're a part of it. And I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Just waiting for the other shoe to drop. But I'm just glad that this is taking place and it has been exposed. If you notice, the YouTube streets have been kind of quiet, haven't they? Since certain revelations has come about. People are trying to focus in now and talk about certain fights and stuff now. It's like, oh no, go back to being with your trolling bullshit. You know? Stick to that. And let it be what it's going to be to the end. Because everything comes to an end. You can believe that. Yeah. So let me ask you this, G5. Is there something that you would like to discuss out here for any remaining time we have in the show? Because, like I said, I was filling in for Drew Titan this evening. And we pretty much went through the pound for pound thing, which is the lead subject of the show this evening. And if you had something else, I would give you a chance to, bring it out there and we can have a conversation about it. If not, we can wrap things up so we can release people on into their holiday weekend.
Mm-hmm. I talked about something on my show earlier, my live I did earlier, just about this double standards in boxing, man. Even on, certain standards are different for even black fighters, you know what I'm saying? And other people that report and do that make content, they have double standards for certain fighters, and some things are good for one fighter and other things are not good for certain fighters. And I'm just like, that's drawing the division and wedge in the sport of boxing as well. Some people might, oh yeah, example, Devin Haney and Tank Davis. Oh well, he's ducking him or he's ducking this person and that person. Well, look, you can't say one thing is good for one person, the next thing is not good for the next man, but then they're both kind of doing the same damn thing, but
right.
Since one of them has all the hardware, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's the man. But then again, you got to be wise on what you say when you have contractual obligated fights. Tank could push his regular WBA mandatory, but hey, they have to mandate that, and he has to take it. Also, then you have to get, Devin Haney and George Kambosos to willing to step aside and let them fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's more to it than just, oh yeah, you can push it. No, it's more than that. But people take that and say one side is ducking and the other one's not, and all this and all that. Man, look, a lot of times it's not the fighters, it's the people that manage them and promote them and make these fights. I don't feel like Tank or Devin, either one of them ducking each other. Like, why are we even talking about that fight when we should be wanting Devin to go ahead and whoop Kambosos' ass again? Get that out the way. Then also Devin to be like, man, I beat you twice. There ain't no dispute in my dispute. Then after that, then we can see what's going on. But I'm not talking about any imaginary ass fights. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Anytime if people are like, oh, that'll be a good fight, well, I'm not talking about it. You know why? Because if these fighters not even asking for it or trying to push for it, it's imaginary to me. That's how we gonna solve that. If nobody is pushing or talking about these fights, quit wasting all these hours of content talking about imaginary ass fights. Because the fighter's not even talking about it. We as fans would like to see these fights, but y'all trying to create it and putting it and speaking into the existence of the atmosphere, and the fighters might not even want that damn fight. Like, I start speaking on stuff when the fighters actually start showing me they want to fight. Or if it's not something that's already for sure mandated and locked in, I'm not wasting time talking about it. It's just boxing is a business, and that's the way business goes. I'm not wasting time on unnecessary shoulda, coulda, woulda fights. Nah, for what? I'm not talking about shit, even spits and boots. For what? That'll be great. That'll be nice to see. But why am I gonna talk about that when we got Bud and Spence right here on the table and we just trying to finish getting that situated? I'm not putting the cart before the horse. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something people gotta stop doing, you know. And I see that way more often than not now. You know, if they got a fighter, whoever they favor, they just gonna just jump him and say he already done and gonna beat this fighter before the fight even take place. Man, this is boxing. Anything could happen. Y'all better quit looking over fighters and quit disrespecting fighters that get in this ring, man. Just because it's your favorite fighter, he can get in there and get his ass hit with a shot that he didn't see and go to bed. We see it all the time.
Right.
So,
right.
You know, you can have faith in the fighter that he's gonna go in there and win and get that victory. But there ain't no, it's dark clear cut that he is gonna do that. And you know, some people just love fighters so much they are emotionally invested. So if you say that the fighter's gonna lose, oh man, some people they say, oh, Bud and Spence a 50-50 fight, right? Okay, that means they're about as equal as possible in the ring. 1A, 1B, whichever way you want to put it. But you have some Bud fans be like, oh well, it's 50-50 fight, but I don't see no way that Earl possibly could beat Bud. Well, you don't believe it's a 50-50 fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, right. I'm just being honest. I'm like, how's it 50-50? If you don't believe that other opposition has a 50% chance of winning, then you don't believe it's a 50-50 fight. Quit saying it's a 50-50 fight. Say you just got Bud winning and you don't think Earl gonna win no form of fashion, and sit on that. You know, but if it's a 50-50 fight, where's the other 50% going? If it's more than 50%, then say you look at it like 70-30 in one of the other fighters' favor. You know, so I'm like, it's just certain stuff people contradict their own damn self. That's why I say, just let them talk. They make no fucking sense. Some of them make no sense, I promise. Let them talk long enough, they'll tell you and contradict themselves right in the same breath. But that's all stuff I was just talking about earlier. I mean, I'm pretty sure you probably see a lot of stuff like this going on across the YouTube streets, man. It's just sad, you know, like people too emotionally invested in a fighter that they can't even see the truth. Even if it's a video and audio that proves it, they still won't believe it. I'm like, man, boy, boxing. We in a good place. It's been a pretty good year for us, and it's not over yet. So we can get another couple fights that we looking to see, like, you know, Spence and Bud, and you know, Baumgartner and Mayer and Clarissa and Savannah Marshall. I think, you know, that'll cap the year off for I say as a very successful boxing year of 2022. You know, if we can get also somehow we can get Fulton and Ahmadaliel for undisputed at 22 as well, I think that would just like that put a real nice stamp and cap on boxing as, you know, having a great year for 2022. So I mean, I'm looking forward. I'm hoping we can get those. Hoping we can, you know. And I think, you know, people should, a lot of these young fighters also, like boxing has a lot of eyes on it right now. A lot of eyes, a whole lot. And if you're a young fighter and you're trying to get out there and get your name out there, you might want to, this one of the best times to do it. Like, you got to get on one of these bigger names undercard by any chance possible. Do what you got to do, because if it's a lot more eyes on them and they're growing, if they see you and you impress somebody, then you got more eyes on you as well. You know, it's free promotion and a way to build your name and boost your stock up in this time with all these undisputed matches and stuff like that. Get on the undisputed card, undercard or something, and build your name up and let more people see you. You know, and I think that's a perfect time to do it. And if a lot of people don't capitalize on this, they're gonna fall behind. And the people that do capitalize and take advantage of this time right now, I think they're going to benefit from it. So, you know, there was few things that I also been looking at as well during this time with all these fights that's going on.
Right. Well, you know, that's good stuff, man. And I feel the same way. It's just like it's time to get some things done, get it underway, you know, get these matches going. I think the heavyweight division is in a bad place right now. And it's due to the PTB doing what they did. They actually removed the reigning champion in a dastardly manner and put someone that doesn't deserve to be there or whatever, and is hogtied to corruption and everything. And so it's going to pull the whole damn house down, and deservedly so. Because you remember, if you go back, when Deontay he did a video and he released it out there. I think it was from his Instagram or something, when he talked about theft, and that the thieves would have to pay back, you know, what was it, sevenfold
or sevenfold,
yeah, of what they stole and everything. Well, we're now seeing the fruition of karma come into effect, and it's not only going to affect the entire heavyweight division, it's going to affect boxing overall. But just because of the greedy, it has to take place now. It has to take place. So all those people talking about, oh, I want to see D come back and I want to see him fight this person. I don't care if D comes back now.
I don't either.
He's been fortunate enough to be in a position that he could write his own ticket, and that's the best place to be for him. You understand? When he was where he was, people didn't appreciate that. And if they did appreciate it, they would have been able to acknowledge what was being done to him, and the court of public opinion could have stood for him, and things could have been expedited. But no, since people wanted to play those games, things now got to play out the way they really got to play out when a man of God sits back and allows things to work out the way they're supposed to. There you go. So blessings to Deontay and whatever he's doing in his life, and pray for health and safety for him and his family and what they do. But boxing is going to get exactly what it deserves, and they don't deserve him. So let that be my word on that.
Yeah, like I hope we stay gone. Like, no, don't try to come back and show no fake love so y'all can get some chicks off his back. No, you should have enjoyed it and should have appreciated why it was here. Nope, you don't deserve it, brother. Now look at the heavyweight division on life support without him in here. Now everybody, all these heavyweights, you know, they looking and searching, trying to see if Wilder's coming back. Why? Because they need to know if I need to jump in the way so I can give me a payday, or I need to get the hell out the way. Yeah, trust me. If y'all don't think they waiting on Deontay Wilder's response, they waiting on it. They waiting on it. Soon as he say that he's coming back and he fights somebody, watch people be chomping out at the bit to try to get in a fight with Wilder. But remember, y'all didn't even want to never fight this dude before. Now everybody gonna be trying to be willing to fight him. Nah, y'all not gonna get that satisfaction. Screw y'all. I'll stay retired and enjoy my beautiful wife, my beautiful kids, and enjoy it. He not hurting for money. Not at all. He's well off.
Like I said, that's the best place to be. That's the best place to be. Yep.
I'll stay gone, man. Y'all got it. What's gonna be any different now other than y'all showing me fake love? Because y'all got a guilty conscience because y'all know y'all done effed up before. That's all y'all gonna do. Try to be right and do better because y'all know y'all done effed up before. That's all. That's all that will happen. You know. And he an energy and vibe person. He know that's not real and it ain't gonna be genuine from there. So he not gonna believe it around me. Come on now, that's an integral man that move off integrity and morals about himself. He not going for that. That's not like that. Simple.
Absolutely.
He
man.
not one of those. That's all I got, OG. I'm not gonna hold it up too much longer. Like you just filling in for Drew or whatever. Great show, man. Appreciate the invite.
That's great, man, and I appreciate you coming through. If you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share, or if you got something coming up that you want people to check you out, you feel free to say it right now. And you can feel free. I see Kwee is out there. Please drop the link for your channel in the chat so people can subscribe to your channel. And,
she right here next to Stormy said, drop your link.
Drop the links for both of you guys' channels in the chat, and give me some final thoughts before you get up out the building.
Final thoughts, man. Always, man, appreciate the work that you do, Sensei, man. Always a pleasure, to get up here and cook with you, whether we're here or off YouTube behind the scenes, having great conversations. Always good energy, good vibe, man. A lot of knowledge always being dished out. Appreciate you always, Sensei. Shout out to the chat, man. I was reading the chat and saying y'all real interactive, man. Y'all help make it a great show. I'm just glad I could come up here and drop a few my little 2 cents and try to bring up the property value a little bit more in here, man. And y'all know where to find me at, man. Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. Central Time. A.m. cleanup. Monday through Friday, as I said, D5_Gabe on my YouTube channel. I'm there. We got about 400 more subs to go, get the 1,000 mark. Then we monetize. So, we done pretty good. Been a pretty good year this far rolling with just grinding and working. Man, been a good year. I will say that. Channel's making moves. I will start back doing my evening live and stuff like that, but I get to that when I get to it. But I just gotta work around and get to slots and time, make sure the availability right. But other than that, I have my Tuesday night fights with Bruce Gas, George Jakovich on the Bruce channel. Wednesday nights, it's up in the air on that. Thursday nights I'm over there Fighter Ratings on Rick Williams channel, and we just making our moves. Kids me with Southern T, everybody robbing the bookie, and me and the rest of the crew, we over there making moves, man. So y'all tap into all these good content creators. Sub to the Queen, Q&A, Love and Sports, love to the Queen of the Ring. Hey, the women out here putting on too, just like in boxing as well. So don't sleep on. That's all I got, Sensei. Great show.
Hey man, that's good. You're a busy dude, man. You're a busy dude.
Man, I'm trying to be, man. Gotta stay, keep myself moving, man, so we can keep it growing, man, so I can run down these other subs, because I already got all my other requirements to be monetized, so watch time, everything else is good, so just run it all down. Views up there, but people just watch it. For some people, y'all be stingy on the subscribe button. I can say that because I can check my analytics and I know, let's just say this. If I have 40,000 views and I have 585 subs this month, I'm missing a whole lot of subs, man. I'm missing a lot of subs, man.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Subs. So, hey, but I appreciate y'all watching, liking and, tapping in. But just hit that red button and that bell notification, man, so we can go ahead and push these algorithms up. Because I'm like, if I could do this now, oh, y'all in trouble now. I'm figuring some things out. Yeah, I got a formula now, Stormy. Got a formula now, man. Yeah. Oh, man. I can laugh because, I done figured some things out. But, man, even if they don't, man, I enjoy just talking the sport of boxing, life, and just, things in general, man, to help build and, grow the community, man. So, whether I get paid for it or not, I just love to do it, man. It's not even about the money. It's about the passion for it.
All right. Well, we're going to get ready to go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate everybody that came out. It's the numbers kind of went up as the show went on, and I'm glad to see that. There was like a lot of people out there checking us out, listening to what we had to talk about, and the like buttons were smashed. Very much reflective of people who were enjoying the content for this evening. So I think I did a solid for Drew Titan, who wasn't able to go live this evening. So I did my part. You know, I'm happy for that. But we're going to get on out of here. Hope everybody enjoy the rest of their holiday and have a safe holiday weekend. Don't eat too much, but eat as much as you can. And just enjoy. Do some good things, man. Love on each other and be ready to come back next week with some more good boxing talk and everything. I'm going to say shout out to the mighty LDBC. I'm going to get on out of here. Get prepared because my stomach touching my back. So I'm kind of hungry right now. That's what my brother Kurt Sugar used to say. You know, R.I.P. to Kurt. He used to say, man, my stomach is touching my back. So it's time to eat, you know. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks, man, for coming in with me. And salute to everybody out there in the chat, man. We're going to get on out of here, man. Peace.
No doubt. Appreciate you. Peace out, Sensei.